Alrighty, so it's time for another test video. So today what we're going to do is we're going to compare brand new brass to 5x fired brass, or Fireform brass. So both of these are Hornady GAP brass. Now the one you see on the right there is brand new brass. All I did was deburr and chamfer it, didn't size it or anything like that. Then on the left you see my brass that I've been using. This is 5x fired, and in the way that I usually do it. Annealed, deburred, chamfered, and resized, shoulder bumped about 2000s. Now we're going to go ahead and we obviously loaded these up with 34.0 grains of Varget, the CCI 450 primers, and this is at our cartridge-based ogive that we've been using at 1.982. So I've used this over and over on the channel. It's a known good load. We shot half-inch groups at 100, 200, and 300 yards. So we're going to go out and we're going to test these at 200 yards. Now what's more important here probably is to see if we have a difference in our velocity numbers, consistency, and things like that. So I'm testing this in my 6GT, so let's get out on the range and let's see how they shoot. Alrighty, we are out here on the range. The target is at 200 yards. Those orange circles are 1 inch. 6GT, 24 inch Seekins Havoc hit. And we're shooting today, Leupold Mark V, 7 to 35 optic. It's a nice day to shoot. There's a little bit of a breeze and a bit of mirage, but should be pretty good. The gun is cold, so I'm gonna go ahead and shoot one shot to go ahead and warm things up, and then we'll go ahead and we'll do 2 5-shot groups. One with our new brass and one with our Fireform brass. We are getting velocity through our lab radar, and obviously we're shooting off our bipod and rear bag. I went ahead and dialed up the scope about 3/10. That should get us fairly close to where we want to be. We'll start with the used brass, or the Fireform brass, first. And first shot again is going to be a cold bore, so we'll probably adjust the scope if we need to from there. Alright, first round here again, cold bore shot. We'll go left to right on our target there. Alright, so pretty close on our point of aim. Just going to leave it there. Alright, 5-shot group here. And these are the Fireformed loads. Alright, so those are the Fireform loads. Look like we shot a decent group there, about what we'd expect. We're going to move over and we'll look at, obviously you see the velocity numbers up on the screen there. We'll compare them at the end. Now we're going to go to the brand new brass and see how they shoot and see our velocity numbers. Back up. Alright, and last one here. Alright, 5. And looks like pretty similar sized groups there. Alright, so for our first 6 shots, we averaged 2904 feet per second, 6.3 SD, and a 16.9 extreme spread. So that is our Fireformed loads. And then our new brass, we had only 5 shots in that group, but we had a 2892 feet per second average, a 7.5 extreme spread, and a 3.0 SD. So in this case, our velocity numbers were actually more consistent with the brand new brass. Our group size looks to be about the same, all things considered with the environment and things like that. But we'll get back to the bench and let's talk about it a little bit more. Alright, so taking a look at our target here, that first target of the Fireform loads, we shot a 1.5 inch group. Our cold bore shot was that one that's low and to the right, and then for whatever reason I threw that second to last one high and to the right. Now I did drop that round whenever I went to load in the magazine. It did kind of bounce around off my bench and onto the floor. So potentially that played a role, but probably not. 1.5 inches is probably just within my shooting capability on this day with this load. 2904 feet per second, 16.9 ES, and a 6.4 SD. So this is pretty consistent with what I've come to expect with this load. This comes out to about 0.75 MOA for 200 yards, which is kind of on the poor side for this load, but it's done this before. It's ranged from basically 0.5, somewhere between 0.5 and 0.75. Anyway, moving over to our new brass on the right there, we had a better group at 1.18 inches, and we had a better velocity consistency as well. So we had 2892 feet per second, 7.5 ES, and a 3.0 SD. Now, question is there really a difference between these two? We shot a 6-shot group on the left and a 5-shot group on the right, and they're nearly the same, right? The velocity was a little lower on the right, which potentially that's because of that new brass. But honestly, what this tells me is I would have no concern go ahead and loading up a bunch of new brass with this load and shooting it, and I would have no concern loading up a bunch of used brass and shooting it as well. Both acceptable accuracy, about 0.6 MOA on the right, 0.75 on the left at 200 yards. Good velocity numbers both ways. So this confirms what I thought was going to happen is it really doesn't matter if I use new brass or if I use brass that's prepped in my typical fashion. So go out there and use new brass. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Enjoyed shooting it. It was a pretty decent day. The Mirage was a little bit heavy, but that's kind of what happens on my 200 yard range. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for subscribing, and we will see you next weekend.